welcome to Little Learners. Reading books. Do you have a reluctant reader at home? Do you have a child who finds reading books quite boring? Are you finding reading a difficult task? Well, I'm here to give you some pointers. Before we get started, don't forget to click the subscribe button to make sure you're part of the Little Learners family. And if you find this video helpful or interesting, please give it a like, as it really helps out the channel. Now, the thing with reading books when children are very young is that they don't have many words in them, and that can prove to be a bit of an issue. Now, of course they don't have many words in them because children don't know how to read many words yet. They might get books like this one, I Am Kipper. It says, I am Kipper, I mop, mop, mop. I am Pam, I tap, tap, tap. I am Matt, I pat, 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 etc., etc. And this is obviously repetition, I am, and very simple words that children can sound out phonetically. However, there isn't much of a story to that, and that can lead it to be a little bit boring, especially if you're not reading it for the first time. So what can we do to make reading more interesting and engaging for our children when they have books to read that aren't particularly interesting? One thing that is really important is to think about the pictures. Now, comprehension is really important when it comes to reading. Comprehension is to do with understanding, and that doesn't just come from the words, it comes from the pictures and the other clues in the book as well. So for example, here we have, I am Pam, I tap, tap, tap. So maybe you can go and find something to tap, tap, tap. You can say, what can you see in this picture? Oh, I can see Floppy. He is just looking round the barrel there. Can we make a tap, tap noise? Here we have someone dressed up as a pirate. I am Matt. He's dressed up as a pirate. What is he wearing that makes him look like a pirate? Who is he patting? He's patting Floppy. I am Pat. I pop, pop, pop. Maybe this is the point where you say, let's get out our bubbles, blow some bubbles and pop them. So it's really looking at what is in the book and not necessarily just what the story is, but how you can bring this book to life and make it more engaging for your child. This book is called Silly Races, and it is again a lot about repetition. So we have Kipper ran, Kipper got a banana, Mum ran, she got an apple, Biff and Chip ran, etc., etc. So that can be a little bit boring when it's repetitive, and children can find it difficult sometimes to engage with books when they don't have a lot of words or story to them. So it's important to look at the pictures. So for example, this picture here, what kind of silly race are they doing? The words don't tell us, so we need to be looking at the picture. It looks like they've got a spoon and they've got an egg on their spoon. They must be doing an egg and spoon race. Maybe we could try an egg and spoon race. We can see in the pictures that the children have made medals for the people who win the races. They've made them in a star shape. Maybe we can have some races and make our own medals for the winners. What shape do you think we could make the medals? Oh look, Mum won a race. She got an apple. Can you remember what Kipper got? What do you think the next winner's going to get? So it's all about those questions and not necessarily about the words, but the pictures as well. Then thinking about activities or little games you can play to do with the story to bring it to life and to make it more interesting. When children start having more words in their books, they may find it a little bit overwhelming. They may look at it and say, that's a lot of words. For example, on this page, there are 3 lines, and I know lots of children will look at that and think, I can't do that because there are too many lines. So it can be helpful to have maybe a sheet of paper to cover up one line so that you're just seeing one at a time. It's a lot less overwhelming and can help children stay on track of where they are. Also, with reading books, when your child is bringing them home and you're going to be reading them multiple times a week, it's okay if they read a page, you read a page, they read a page, you read a page. If they are able to engage with the story more when they don't feel so much pressure on themselves to read the whole thing, that's fine. If your child is struggling with maybe some tricky words, some sight words like the or he, maybe you can go through the book and together look for those words and point them out. Just finding the words and pointing them out, so that repetition of seeing the word and finding it and noticing it, that can help with consolidating that knowledge of what that word looks like. You also don't just have to read at the kitchen table or wherever you normally would sit to read. You can go outside, read under a tree if you want to be really cliche. You can read on the go, you can read sitting on a bench at the park, you can read at family members' houses. It doesn't always have to be the same family member reading with them. It can be an older sibling if they want to. It can be maybe grandma comes over and they read to her. Also, another thing that can be quite engaging when children are finding it difficult to engage with a book is predicting what's going to happen next. So for example, here we have the rope swing, and each page a different child gets on the swing, and Floppy keeps looking at the rope and is worried about it. So Floppy's barking and barking. Another child gets on, Floppy barks again, another child gets on, Floppy barks again. Why is Floppy barking? What do you think's going to happen? What can Floppy see that we can't see? Can we see it? Look at the rope up there. What do you think's going to happen when the next child gets on and the next child gets on? And that can be really helpful and encourage children to want to carry on reading to find out if their prediction is correct. Those are just a few different ways that you can make reading a little bit more interesting or engaging at home. But please do remember that if your child has come home from school and they are really tired and they're trying to read to you, but it's just not working, it's not going well, just stop. We want children to have a love for reading. We don't want them to feel like it's a chore. You can always try at a different time, maybe a different time of day. Maybe reading in the morning works for your family better. Maybe reading after you've come home and played a bit works for your family better. Just whatever works for your child, and don't feel like they must read every single page every single day, because none of us feel in the mood to do something sometimes, and that's okay. We want them to have that love for reading and to be interested in reading. That is the most important thing, because that is going to help them improve their reading and be able to read more interesting books in the future. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other ideas or thoughts on how to make reading books like these a little bit more interesting for children. Do subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon if you haven't already. I premiere my videos, so you'll get a notification when it goes live. And for the first run through of the video, I am in the live chat, chatting to everyone. I love talking to you all about whatever the video is about, or just catching up with some of you who always come to the premieres, so that's really lovely. Do give this video a like if you found it helpful. It really helps out the channel. You can find resources, information about my tuition, consultations, guides on phonics and more on my website littlelearners.education. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.